Okay, let me clear the air at the start of this video. I'm not a Harry Potter fan. I've never read any of the books. Yes, I might have stumbled upon a kid with glasses who lives in a cupboard below the stairs when I was switching between channels on my TV. Yes, I might have come across a big bearded guy who is a mentor to that kid with glasses. That's about it when it comes to my knowledge of the Harry Potter lore. But I was excited about the game based on what they showed, even with all the controversy that surrounds it. And I prefer to isolate the art from the artist. I picked this game up almost a year ago, but never came around to beating it until now. I've beaten the main story, did a lot of the side stuff, and is very close to the Platinum Trophy. And I have some thoughts to share. If you want to hear a noob who knows absolutely nothing about this universe talk about this game for the next 30 minutes or so, I welcome you to my novice perspective of Hogwarts Legacy. Even though in my other videos I usually separate different pillars of a game such as the world or the gameplay into different chapters, for this one I'm having difficulty trying to do that because I don't think looking at it separately does this game any justice. Hogwarts Legacy is a very packaged experience, and it is when you combine all of it, it comes together perfectly. I will jump between things that impressed me here and there, but I will still try to add chapters if you want to know anything specific. Big spoiler alert, by the way. Let's start from the very beginning, the character creation, which is pretty fleshed out for what it is trying to achieve. We have quite a lot of control over the facial features and stuff considering how well whatever you create looks. Both during cinematics and conversation, your character fits in, and it does not look out of place as it does in many RPGs and MMOs. I spent quite a while creating this handsome fella. However, the meat of customization exists mostly within the game. The game provides so much loot as rewards for completing the main quests, and it is awesome. You can really make your character your own. Not only cosmetically, but also accessories. You can customize your broom, your wand, etc. Next up, I'm playing the game on a base PS5 and just look at the graphics option that Avalanche Software have provided here. There is a fidelity mode, a ray tracing mode, a performance mode, a balance mode. It also lets you cap and uncap your frame rate if you own a 120Hz monitor. I tried all of the modes, but the majority of the time I stuck to the 60 FPS performance mode, which looks really good and performs just fine. I did face a lot of frame drops and a lot of loading issues when getting inside and outside rooms, but nothing that significantly hampered the experience, thanks to it being a very slow game, and I would be perfectly fine playing this game even at the 30 FPS mode. The game then showcases an initial cutscene as our customized character was elected to join the Hogwarts School of Witchcraft and Wizardry as a 5th year student under the supervision of Professor Fig. I must say, the intro did not hook me initially. It gave us a bare bones look and glimpse into its world and set up our clear objective to unearth ancient secrets buried deep within the wizarding world, as our character can see traces of ancient magic. The game really started to click with me from the point it showed off this stunning shot of Hogwarts Castle, followed by the sorting ceremony, where you get to choose one of the 4 houses. I chose Hufflepuff for this particular playthrough, but it looks like I have to try all of them for the Platinum Trophy. After that 2-hour something long intro, the game breaks the shackles and you are free to do whatever you want in this stunning castle and of course the outside world, and it is just beautiful. Starting with the castle, where I've spent hours upon hours just looking around this incredibly realized setting that just welcomes you with both hands. Even the characters and NPCs you can meet in the house, everyone is so nice and you get to learn about them. I think that is what makes this game so special. You actually feel like you are a part of this world. You actually feel like this is your first day of school or something, and you are making new friends, talking with the professor, making enemies as well. This feeling of belonging somewhere is something that I look for in every open world game. The fact that in most of the main quest all you are doing is going to classes, learning new spells, completing assignments, uncovering mysteries within the world, hanging out with friends, getting wisdom from the professors, participating in duels against your friends goes a long way to create this feeling of immersion. For example, whilst exploring the castle, I came across Zenobia, who plays this marble-like game called Gobstone that has a magical twist as the winning stone squirts a foul-smelling substance at the loser. This is a simple side quest, but so much thought has gone into it as we help her find all the gobstones scattered around Hogwarts. Or look at this quest, where Lenora Everleigh spotted this unusual painting inside the castle as we help her decode the reason behind it. Or this main quest, where Sebastian takes us to this hidden room in the castle, where we just sit back and conversate. It feels like you belong there, you're helping a friend in need like you would do in your school or college. It's stuff like these that makes me remember this game even when I'm not playing it. This is not a game where there are twists and turns or bombastic set-piece moments to surprise you all the time. It is a slow burn, and the game takes quite a while to ease you into it. And I really appreciate that, as I'm not familiar with most of it. And there's so much going on here, it could have felt overwhelming for someone like me. There are so many elements to this game, and if I'm not wrong, the game took about 8 to 10 hours to just introduce everything it has to offer in its basic form. For example, they took about 4 hours to tell me that there's a spell that lets me go invisible as we sneak inside the restricted library. They took 6 hours to tell me that I can fly in this game with a broom as part of a flying class, and another couple of hours to tell me that I have to earn enough coins to buy one that makes getting around this stunning open world a lot more enjoyable. They took about 8 hours to introduce the talent system, which is basically the skill tree. They ease you into it little by little with adding these awesome new spells for you to learn that showcases this very natural progression of your character. Like for example, when I first learned the Evanesco spell in the Room of Requirement, I was so shocked that I could do that. It just really makes you wonder, what is the next surprise? What is the next spell I'm about to learn? The spells of course play a big part in this game's exploration, puzzle solving and combat, which we will talk more about in the gameplay section. The keyword of Hogwarts Legacy for me is anticipation. Look at this simple example. In one of the main quests, the game teleports us to this prison called Azkaban. It happens out of nowhere, and it took me so off guard. This is probably normal for Harry Potter fans, but as a non-fan, this was shocking. How it teases you that something special is around the corner. It motivates you to just keep going. Last weekend, I had a 7 straight hour-long playing session, and it's been a while that a game has immersed and hooked me into it like that. What plays a significant role in elevating your immersion in this world is the visuals. Let's start with how good it looks inside the castle. Just running around with the sunlight just bleeding through the windows during the day is mesmerizing, or even at night. The artificial lighting is amazing. Inside the castle, what impressed me the most was the classrooms. My jaw dropped every time I went into a new one. Each classroom has its own distinct personality and recognizability. For example, the first time I went to the herbology class, this is printed in my memory for years and years to come. It is a sight to behold. Not to mention, Professor Garlick is really pretty, and she's so nice and welcoming.
Ah, hello! Class, please welcome the newest rose in our garden.
Or look at the lighting and ambience in the potions class. There's such character to this simple room. Or look at the divination class. It is so inspired. Speaking of lighting, did I mention the Great Hall? It is so gorgeous and spectacularly realized. I remember this hall from one of the movies I stumbled upon. And during winter, the Great Hall is just something else.
Oh my God.
Or look at this staircase, how it is set dressed with all these portraits on the wall, just so cool. The castle itself is truly something. It is this never-ending Pandora's box with so many secrets and hidden things to find. Even hours into the game, I'll come across a room or place I've never seen before. Not to mention, the magic and the myth adds this layer of charm and specialness to all of it. It is so fresh and dynamic. How the NPCs behave, how the students move around the castle using spells, how the person in the paintings move and talk. Really, the Hogwarts castle is an extraordinary achievement, and I like how it is the center of attention. It doesn't matter where you are in the map, it is just screaming for your attention. I would go to elevated places on the map with my broom and just enjoy its beauty. I don't know how faithful it is to the lore, but it is very impressive and one of the most well-realized places in modern video games. I spent hours just running around and retrieving the missing pages, or just flying around scoping every inch of this castle, trying to appreciate what Avalanche Software has done here. The beauty of this game does not end here, of course. Let's go outside the castle. And speaking of well-realized settings in modern gaming, there's another perpetrator in that lineup. and that is the town of Hogsmeade. When the game first takes you to Hogsmeade in the companionship of either Natsai or Sebastian, my reaction was like, oh my god, or should I say Merlin's beard.
Merlin's beard? Are you alright?
It took me back to the same feeling I had back in 2018 when I first visited Saint Denis in Red Dead Redemption 2. Yes, it is that remarkable for me, how cozy and mythical it looks, specifically during autumn and winter. Just exploring both the exterior and the interiors of the small shops for your wizarding needs within Hogsmeade is something I won't forget for quite a while. It is so alive. Every time I visit Hogsmeade, I'm in awe. The castle and this particular town of Hogsmeade are two of the most impressive locales I've seen in any video games in recent times. Sadly, location-wise the game never reached the highs it set with these two locations. Don't get me wrong, it is still really beautiful, but the bar it sets with the aforementioned location is unparalleled. For example, I really love this small town called Kingsbridge, where I did one of the potion delivery missions. Or the train station that looks incredible during the night. The region of Feldcroft looks good too. It is a pretty big open world with open lands, swamps, lakes, forbidden forests, and other towns and stuff. There are cool things to do, cool secrets to uncover, puzzles to complete, enemies to fight, dungeons to explore, collectibles to find. It is awesome. For example, I came across this interesting student who's looking for an astrolabe, which is a family heirloom lost in the Great Lake, as we swim and help her retrieve it. Every side quest has this interesting backstory, as I mentioned before as well, that gives this meaning to everything.
Oh, you won't believe it. Truly, but his feet were turned into purple beets. You can imagine his distress. And mine.
As for the main quest, I think it's about as good as it needs to be. The goal of Avalanche Software with Hogwarts Legacy, of course, is to fulfill your fantasy of leading a life like Harry Potter, or in my case, a mere student at Hogwarts School of Witchcraft and Wizardry. As I mentioned at the start of this video, this game is a very packaged experience. What I mean is that every quest you do in this game is sort of a main mission, and it comes together as one to tell this broader narrative. The main quest mostly consist of classes and assignments to do, which eventually leads to newer and more powerful spell learning. That then connects to the central plot, which is unearthing the ancient magic that predates modern spellcasting even before the founding of Hogwarts. Only a select few can perceive this magical force, and luckily our character is one of them. The ancient magic is sort of considered a taboo, as it can be dangerous to be widely known, so the keepers hid it in magical trials scattered around the Highlands. The narrative spans across these 4 trials. It is definitely a very cool narrative to follow, and the game tells it with a lot of care and attention to detail. It is very well paced. These quests are perfectly set down as you level up in the midst of other vital main quests. And I like that it is not overwhelmingly long, considering it's an RPG. If you only focus on the main plot, you can beat this story in around 25 hours or so. The most compelling element of the central plot to me is the flashbacks from centuries ago that comprises the story of Isadora Morganach, who started as a 5th year as well and later turned into a professor.
You wanted to see me? Headmistress Fitzgerald, Professor Rackham.
Miss Isadora Morganach, welcome.
We see her journey through the flashbacks as she used ancient magic to extract and store emotions, particularly pain, something that was opposed by the keepers, leading to her downfall little by little as the story progresses. But we later know that she was able to implant a repository of stored pain below Hogwarts, which the goblin Ranrock and his rebellion is trying to weaponize in present time against the wizard kind. And our player is at the center of this 3-way conflict. It is a very compelling story as is. Again, I'm not a Harry Potter fan, I have nothing to compare it to. But this is a good RPG story that glues everything together in this game, which is unwarranted considering the Hogwarts student fantasy is more than enough to glue you in this journey. My only issue with the central plot is the lack of emotional depth, and that stems from lack of interesting characters within the main conflict. It has such strong characters outside the central conflict such as Natsai Onai, Sebastian Sallow, Poppy Sweating, Lenora Everley, and all the professors. And I mean all of them. Each professor is super cool and supportive. I wish I had such nice teachers in my school days. But they're not much involved in the central plot other than Professor Fig, who is one of the most vital characters in this game. Speaking of emotional depth, one shocking revelation for me about this game is when I learned that Sebastian Swallow's Dark Arts questline is not part of the main plot. It is a side questline, but in terms of quality and emotional depth, it far exceeds everything that the main plot does. This quest is all about finding a cure for Sebastian's cursed sister Anne, who is sick and can't visit Hogwarts because of that. From the get-go, it creates this emotional investment in me, and just watching Sebastian's relentless and genuine love for his sister was the hook. The breaking point of this quest is when we learn that it was Sebastian's uncle or someone close to Anne who casted the curse, leading to Sebastian completely losing it and eventually killing his uncle by casting Abracadabra. As a result, Anne disowns Sebastian, and the game presents one of the toughest choices in the whole game to either turn Sebastian to Azkaban or just keep it a secret. This is such an amazing questline that is kind of left tragically unresolved, as it was hinted that the uncle had to cast Anne the curse to protect her from a greater threat, which Sebastian is unaware of. If Avalanche Software is making a sequel to this game, I will be shocked if it is not already greenlit. This is the story that they should learn and inspire themselves to tell something more emotionally gripping in the sequel. Okay, I want to end this video by talking about the gameplay, specifically combat, which I was worried about. I mean, how do you make an interesting gameplay loop with just a wand? And surprisingly, they did that. It is quite fun and can be very challenging at times, which I was not expecting. To put simply, the combat of Hogwarts Legacy is all about the spells. Everything you do combat-wise is a spell. There are a total of 31 of them you can unlock through classes, main quest and side quests that aids in your exploration, puzzle solving and mostly in combat. The more complex of a spell you learn, the easier this combat gets. Hence, after 20 to 25 hours into the game, it kind of gets tiring because you can just enter combat and cast 4 to 5 crazy powerful spells to knock down a whole lot of enemies. My favorite part of the combat is how visually appealing it is. It is like my character is orchestrating music with his wand, and the L1 R1 finishers are incredible. Hence, the combat looks stunning and plays better than I ever expected it to. My only issue with combat is that it is really difficult to switch to another slot of spells, as you can unlock 4 slots through the talent system. I think the menus could have been better, or it could have been cool if they slowed the time when I'm switching to another slot during combat. Other than that, solid combat mechanics. I'm pretty impressed. Okay then, Hogwarts Legacy. What is the objective of games like this? Games that are based on beloved original IPs. If I'm not wrong, it is to attract followers of one particular medium into another medium as an attempt to widen their fan base across multiple platforms. That is the effect this game had on me. I'm a Harry Potter fan now. After beating this game, I want to watch the movies. I want to read the books. As a matter of fact, at the time of editing this video, I have already watched Sorcerer of Stone, which is the first movie. It is such an interesting universe, and this game perfectly captures that. It lets you live the Harry Potter life. It exposes you to that thrilling fantasy. I'm so impressed by this amazing world that Avalanche Software has crafted that I cannot wait to finish editing this video and just go back to doing everything that world has to offer and attain the Platinum Trophy. I definitely didn't expect this game to have that effect on me. This game is on discount on the PlayStation Store right now for $17, which I think is a steal, and I highly recommend it to everyone, whether or not you are a Harry Potter fan. If you enjoyed watching this video, please consider subscribing to this small channel of mine. I'm trying to get to 1000 subscribers, and your support will help in that process. Thank you for your time. Rakzplayz signing off.